On today's episode, I want to take a closer look at two companies that I'm bullish on. The first one is going to be Nvidia. The second one is going to be Meta Platforms. So there has recently been a kind of internal memo about Meta Platforms, and within that internal memo, it is said that Meta Platforms is trying to increase the amount of GPUs that they need dramatically. They actually say by 5 times the amount, and this is actually really good news for Nvidia, and we're going to take a closer look at why. So let's get started. But before, if this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for a lot of great links, and also my tech channel.
I do want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out fool.com/Jose to get the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
So on June 30th, a few days ago, Reuters actually released some information about an internal memo that Meta Platforms had released to their employees. And inside the memo, Chief Product Officer Chris Cox actually shared some information of where Meta Platforms is heading. And in the memo, Cox says that Meta would need to increase 5-fold the number of graphics processing units in its data centers by the end of the year to support the discovery push, which requires extra computing power for artificial intelligence. And for those that did not notice, earlier today, I dropped this video on why Meta Platforms is actually pushing the artificial intelligence market. So after this video, feel free to watch it to learn a little bit more. But here, they have not mentioned Nvidia by name. They just mentioned that they are increasing the GPUs that they're needed. Fortunate for investors, I do believe this is great and bullish news for Nvidia. And let me show why. And the reason I'm bullish for Nvidia is we can see that these two companies have worked really well with each other. For example, on January 24th of 2022, Meta works with Nvidia to build massive AI research supercomputer. This supercomputer will actually make Meta Platforms the largest Nvidia DGX A100 customer system to date. And this is actually the second time that Meta has picked Nvidia's technology. Earlier in 2017, they also used it to build their first generation of infrastructure AI research with their V100 kind of GPU. So we can see Meta Platforms and Nvidia definitely have a history of kind of partnering up to kind of create these supercomputers. And for those that are not familiar with the DGX H100, this is like a drawers type system where there are about 8 Nvidia GPUs, numerous Nvidia switches thanks to their acquisition of Mellanox, other kind of Bluefield DPUs, and other connectivity chips, again, that Nvidia kind of produces. So this is a very important move for Nvidia's kind of data center revenue. And if we take a closer look, Nvidia in their most recent quarter, data center actually became the leading source of this company's total revenue source. And right now, we are seeing a bit of kind of a pushback in semiconductor stocks as the consumer market is decreasing, and as also this kind of GPU glut is happening due to kind of crypto crash. So many do fear that the gaming market might take a huge decline. Nvidia actually kind of pre-warned investors in their most recent earnings, but the dire situation has probably shifted a lot more than expected. But I do believe the data center market, even if it might see some blips in the short term of things, with news like this that Meta Platforms is increasing their artificial intelligence push, it's not going to be the only company, right? There are going to be other big players that are going to be doing the same thing. People that are trying to expand their clouding network as well. So I do believe in the long term of things, the data center market is still in a healthy space. Maybe in the short term of things, we might see a bit of a bumpy road though. And I do believe this is a great time for Nvidia, as this company is releasing their next generation of data center GPUs in the future. For example, the H1, which is the Hopper architecture, is going to be the next move, the next generation. So if Meta Platforms is increasing the amount of GPUs that they're using, I would be surprised if they don't go with Nvidia's Hopper architecture. So I do believe it comes at a great time where there is a refresh of cycle and there are better GPUs out there. I do want to say secretly this might actually be a good boost for Intel if this company can keep things in check, because for Nvidia's DGX H100, which is their new kind of supercomputer pod style, they've actually selected Intel Sapphire Rapids, and this is a huge change because previously they actually used AMD's EPYC server processors. So the reason I'm being if Intel can keep it right is because Intel recently announced that there are some delays happening with Sapphire Rapids for the second time, and I feel like if Nvidia believes that this delay might affect their future sales product, they might actually end up going back to AMD. So at the moment, it is kind of bullish also for Intel, but if the delay continues with Sapphire Rapids, I do believe it actually might be bullish for AMD, because I do believe Nvidia could change to AMD's new CPU, which is going to be Genoa, I believe. So that can actually go either direction, but at the end of the day, I do believe this is bullish news for Nvidia. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.